So for tonight, I'm gonna call them Sacred Shadow side quests. Um,
Super duper.
but for tonight, for the next couple sessions, I wanted to do this kind of sci-fi thing. Well, I wanted to do something different, and I tossed out sci-fi, and you guys said okay, so I nudged you in that direction. Ha ha ha. Um, but anyway, you guys are on Pioneer Station. You are members of the Pioneer Station security force. You help keep things down. In my mind, are either of you familiar with the like a Babylon 5 series? Or
I know of it. I
Same.
haven't really watched it.
Same.
Did you watch that really bad movie with Cara Devlin, the Velestra? What it was like? It was like. Did you? I'll remember the name in just a second. Valerian. Did you watch the movie Valerian?
I think I saw with the young girl and guy.
Uh-huh.
Terrible
Yeah.
chemistry and the really
Yes.
pretty stuff, but you don't remember anything that happened because nothing really happened.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the one. So
Vaguely, yes.
in Babylon 5 and Valerian, they speak of this kind of concept of a space station that grows over time, right?
Mhm.
And I think of Pioneer Station in that same regard. So
Like they just keep bolting more stuff on.
correct. So Pioneer Station is a Sol, as in our solar system, Sol trading outpost that orbits Jupiter's moon, Callisto. Its original purpose was acting as an orbital station supporting hydrogen mining from the oceans of Callisto. That was until first contact was made approximately 300 years ago.
Ooh.
Now a commercial hub for interstellar trade, it sits at the crossroads of 4 different major species, including humans. There are over a dozen different known species to humans. However, the ones that they actually interact with on a regular basis are within these 3 other species because they're in their like local galactic zone, right? I only expect Grace to be familiar with the book series, the Solar Clipper series. But my concept of space travel is basically ripped directly out of that, which is to say the actual faster than light travel is effectively instantaneous. However, you are not able to actually do that instantaneous interstellar travel within the gravity well of the solar system that you're leaving. In other words, the actual transit between solar systems is instantaneous, but then coming back into the gravity well, in other words, going towards the sun, the star, is what takes most of the time. You're looking at 3 to 6 months, depending on how far into the star, how far into that solar system you need to go and get back out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of trade, but it still takes time, just like merchant ships do now. So it's like really kind of very similar to a long route between, here in China, kind of.
Right.
And so it kind of works like that. And so what's happened to Pioneer Station is over time it has grown and grown and grown. And, again, people are bolting on. Whole species that have made their homes here have bolted on their own. Like if you're familiar with Babylon 5, it's created as a diplomatic place inside of the solar system where multiple species can come together. Not really what I'm going for in this type, but they've grafted on their own, given permission and grafted on their own environments that they're more accustomed to and stuff like that. But the common areas are almost entirely human because it's it's their station, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I sit you guys inside this bar called the Gravity Well. And you guys sit in a quiet booth. It's a I guess it's a cop bar to some degree. Uh, but yeah, you guys are sat at this kind of booth. I guess you guys can talk to one another, and this will be your introduction period for me and you guys,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure.
I hope that was enough for you guys to work with for the moment.
No, I like the name of the bar, the Gravity Well.
Yeah, me too. That's
Well,
beautiful.
it brings things together,
dig
right?
it. Yeah, that's it. You tied the room together, just like Big Lebowski's rug.
Lovely. Okay, so I will tell you about Mary Beth.
Okay.
She is the chosen one. It's not a big deal. She just is. Um, so for one thing, I do have a beginning move, like a beginning mystery move. I don't know if that counts for a one shot. Just wanted to say. Um, and I have a really fancy weapon that I probably only break out if things really get dire. But it's got a really long handle, and basically this just long heavy chain at the end. But it's
Oh.
magic. It's made out of a meteorite. It's a whole thing. Um, I was given it by the ancient cult that found me and told me about how
Ooh.
I've been chosen and everything, and I have this really important fate that I'm supposed to work out with my keeper sometime. Um, but my heroic things are that I am the champion and I have magical powers from being the chosen. And then
Oh.
my two doom things that I had to pick were that what I struggle with is the loss of loved ones and sympathy sometimes with the enemy.
Ooh.
So I don't know how long we would have known each other, but I'm guessing we know each other from work.
I would think so. Yeah, that would be work colleagues, and maybe because we are kind of on the weird end of the scale. Because if we're an employee, what
We're
of this? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we could be kind of like the Scully and Mulder of the group, but I
Yes.
don't know if we'd more be like both Mulders.
Maybe because this I picked. He's got scientific measuring tools and maps and blueprints, so maybe he's a little bit of Scully, a
Yeah,
little bit
late
of
season.
Mulder. Yeah, definitely. So that actually like that comparison. Um, and we're the employee of this station, correct? You said, Michael.
Yes.
We are
And
part of the.
We're like part of Odo's task force.
basically, if you're familiar
Okay,
with Star Trek / DS9,
a little bit. Yes.
Star Trek. I said track. There's no A in there.
My daughter says that all the time. She's
Um,
like, I Star Trek.
um, no, I was gonna say the blueprints thing works really well. So one of the hallmarks of both Babylon 5 and Valerian is that they've grown to the point that uh, you know there are parts of it that are kind of still unknown, if that makes not really unknown so much as there are dark corners, unpatrolled uh sections that don't
So
get a lot of
what you're saying is that the station has grown, but the police force hasn't necessarily
well, they might not
kept
necessarily
up
even have the
with it.
manpower, or to some degree, depending on the species, the true capability to really patrol certain areas. Like, I intend
I
for them
like
to be aquatic species that'll effectively make it virtually impossible. Like that, in my head, this is all in my head, of course.
it.
But I don't intend to push you guys in that scenario tonight. But
Oh.
in my head, there would be parts of the station where it would be prohibitive to even attempt to go into, or in Valerian in particular is what's really kind of inspired it in my head is it is fucking enormous. It got so big that they couldn't orbit Earth anymore and they sent it off into space. It got so
Right.
big.
It had like different biomes.
Yeah, it had a whole
Yeah.
biomes and stuff. And
Just
that's
quick point. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael.
no, go ahead.
Just real quick. This might not be a one shot because I think Josh indicated next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be tonight and next session, according to
Mhm.
Josh. So
That's right. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
we might be doing 2, and who knows? This might be a thing
Up to you.
after.
Maybe. But But yeah, so that's the kind of idea
I'm
of the
sorry.
backdrop for me. No, you're good. The idea in the backdrop for me.
I love it.
Solar Clipper as well also has this kind of concept, not so much as the gargantuanness, but the concept of stations that just kind of that exist and have their own rules of law. Even Firefly, to some degree, implies that in the outer reaches, certain space stations and stuff have their own kind of lawlessness and
Yeah, I mean that's where the Firefly team goes mostly.
yeah, I think that's like in like one of the first couple episodes where they're on that like weird station and the guy
Yeah.
with the derby hat and everything. Maybe that's I think that's the
Yeah.
third episode. Anyway, yeah. So there's some illicit activity. Anyway, we were introducing characters. And Brian, your character?
Actually fits in because Beren Garcia is. I have him as a nomadic. I know, obviously, I picked that actor from the Mummy, which I like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been to the one of the farthest reaches of, I guess, I'm going to call it the Vendaris system. We're
Okay.
kind of we're beyond the outer rim.
Okay.
And as you have explained, and as we know, the space is infinite and black.
Mm-hmm.
And the farther you go out, the farther things, what we hold to make sense, human beings and our psyche and our values and our culture, just don't apply to out there. Like you said, like there's places that have their own law or even their own physics. I think the world is, everything starts to change and how he's kind of glimpsed into the abyss, and maybe the abyss is back. It's kind of sent him on this, he's kind of not kind of, he has forsaken, I guess, not I guess, I keep saying I guess, he has forsaken his life, a traditional life, so to speak, where you marry, have children, or work. He wants to seek, there's some kind of truth. It's almost like Star Trek 5, where they're looking for God, where the which I actually like that movie. Other people shit on it, but I kind of like it. Where Spock's brother's looking for God at the end of the universe, and so Beren is, perhaps there's some truth at the end of the universe. There's more than just what humanity creates. So he here is part of his journey to learn and to absorb knowledge, and these little way stations along his journey. So this happens to be one of them.
Awesome.
Nice.
What was the name of your character again, Grace? I have it here, but
Marybeth Dawson.
Marybeth Dawson.
I was recently recruited by the cult, and they placed me in my position here at the station. Pulled some strings.
And I think Beren being, I guess, that they
I'm
need
sorry, what
bodies.
say it? What okay, Burn what? Was it, cult? What?
What?
Your chosen
your ears
cult
on.
thing? You have it there's a
Yeah, so when I found out that I was the chosen one when a religious organization with legitimate credences found me and gave me my magic chain and magic powers. Well, they didn't give me my magic powers; they were from within, but they helped me find them, and I was placed here at Pioneer Station. This is where my fate will begin to unfold. I know it. My destiny starts here.
Can we massage that into alien technology? Any sufficiently advanced alien technology is
Originally, when I
is
didn't know we were doing sci-fi, I had the material be meteorite.
Oh
perfect.
yes.
No, I like that. Maybe okay.
So I kind of like to think that each of us have worked here for X number of time. For me, maybe
Hmm.
like 4 months, 5 months, and maybe you worked here before me. I'm not sure, but either way, we've both sort of gotten this reputation as the weirdos.
Yes, and that's why Beren has gravitated to me because he's intrigued by her story, and it has a little mystical flavor to it. So he's definitely intrigued.
The way you talk about the edge of the universe is definitely of interest.
Hmm. So we are kindred spirits. Oh, I have to say one thing
You're fine.
before we go. I picked as part of the searcher to have the hang on. Let me just get my dice in my bag. I can't multitask today.
I can't
uh,
multitask ever.
um, Guardian. You have a mystical ally, perhaps a spirit, alien, or cryptid, who helps and defends you. Define them and their powers with the Keeper's agreement. Their look is one
Okay.
of invisible, an intangible spirit thing, a weird creature, disguised as an animal or disguised as a person. So, keeping
You
with the
could have
sign.
like, sorry,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I
No,
I was getting
speak.
excited.
No,
What
speak,
was
please.
You could have a cool little like not necessarily sentient, but maybe sapient little alien friend. I don't know.
Yes, I was thinking exactly that. A gray, a typical gray, which can, he could. This creature can, be that kind of form, um, and maybe a little touch of whimsy too, depending on the situation. Um, but I
Oh,
like that. So his name's Marty. No, I can't. And he could and their powers. So I guess we would have to, as we go, to define um, Little Gray's powers. LG, call him LG. I would think he kind of speaking of bubble universes that supposedly bounce up like, all these like that's the theory of bubble universes. We're all touching each other universe. Uh, maybe that's where LG can kind of come in and out. Yes. I like that. A little creepy, but he could be creepy too. He
it
could
was
be
the
cute.
least creepy gif I could
Yes.
find for gray alien.
I just love grays. I think that it's just something, there's a mystique about them that could be scary and whimsical. So LG could be both
Man,
with his
not to get
powers.
too out there, but it's like the most consistent kind of alien.
Yeah, I agree that these people who claim to see you are abducted. That's this what could be out there. Mm. So and I think LG's powers would be a little more, yeah, like with maybe he does have some claws, or most of it being that he has a large kind of cranium. I would say his powers are more of the psychic mind.
Cool.
That's what I'll say for now, and then I guess as we go, see what situation works. I want to leave it open ended if that's okay. No, Michael. No bueno.
I'm muted. I'm muted. I'm muted. I'm muted. That's what I get for letting you guys talk. Um, Thank you for getting water, pretty girl. Um, I wrote down some random race things that I had the internet generate for me. They sounded interesting and doable enough for the time being.
Tamtors? Lizard people, of course you got to. Playorns. Khajiit, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Asado? Worm-like aliens with 3 eyes. Ooh, I like. I like.
Their natural habitat is actually dirt, and their biome is mostly earth, which is to
Ooh.
say, dirt.
Which is to say,
Do they like it muddy or dry?
They like, well, they don't. Here on the station, they like to stay semi-dry because they do have to leave their natural dirt biome and travel around. They are able to, just like the Tantors and the Clorns are able to, you know.
They sound like amphibians almost,
Kind
but
of.
not.
Yeah,
I guess.
dirt beings. They're worms.
Yeah.
What do you drink? Are you alcohol drinkers? What do you?
Right. So Mary Beth Dawson, I don't know exactly what it is she's drinking, but it's neon and it's got a thing with lights coming on the top. It's also a very tall, swirly glass.
It's called the Pangalactic Spritz, named after Douglas Adams' Pangalactic Goggle Breast. So the only difference is that it doesn't kill you.
let's see.
It does help your brain pierce to the other side, though. To some degree.
Yeah, you can tell it's hitting a person because their skin kind of changes color along with it.
It uses chlorine vodka, which is a mild hallucinogenic. So
Ooh, I like
it in the sense that it makes the colors on the drink pop that more vibrantly. It doesn't like really make you see hallucinations so much as just, it really just turns on HDR,
I see. Up the saturation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
How
about you, Barrick?
I am having
Berin.
Berin.
My drink is a little more subdued. It is tea-based, a synthetic, with a drop of quat, which is almost like the Pan-Galactic. A little bit of has that some hallucinogenic properties. Very potent. Very potent. Just a drop inside. I swish it around and I sip. Do not go. This opens my mind to possibilities. Tomorrow. Yes.
Perfect.
I don't know what's in vogue right now at the station, but Mary Beth always wears pretty designer stuff.
Ooh.
I don't know if she's well funded through her cult in some way, but before I knew our setting at all, I went with designer clothes as part of her description. So I like to think she's wearing like nice everything and just enjoying her spritz.
Her spritz.
Perfect. Yeah, are we in off-duty clothes? Does such a thing exist?
Are we uniformed or are we not? That's a question too. Do we wear the uniform?
I'm putting you guys as detectives, so you can effectively be, I guess.
But do we have credentials?
Civilian. You have credentials, but you would probably dress mostly as civilians, as ununiformed officers.
Okay, let me go find something ridiculous.
I mean,
futuristic.
insofar that Mulder is in a uniform, right? He's just in a suit, just like Scully. She's in like a business suit. Like you're not dress code, not really. It's not a uniform, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You're just gonna pick space uniforms off of like
you're
the
right.
Expanse.
I should throw space in there. Space clothes.
Space clothes.
They're all gonna be shiny and
Beep boop.
beep bop bop boop.
Boop, beep, boop, bop.
I am the future. I have shiny, metallic-looking clothes and silver boots. The
Yeah,
future.
that's how you know it's the future. How
That's right.
else?
There we go. We should
Yeah.
just say that.
Otherwise, um, now I'm going to take a little cue from The Expanse
Mm-hmm.
and other sci-fi shows where there's an amalgam of cultures, like Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm sure Beren, excuse me, he's a patchwork. He'll take a little bit from different cultures,
Okay.
which suits his attire. It's functional, but there's a little bit of design to it too. He'll take some of those elements, maybe like pseudo leather type jacket
Mm-hmm.
and scarves and different accoutrement.
Okay.
Trousers that are functional, boots that are the same from different types of. They might be look like workers' boots, like the workers on the station that do the manual labor. They'll wear those.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to incorporate something in his attire to show that he is um, accepting of everybody, that not to be so aloof and standoffish. Because
Mm.
some people must regard the security forces as, you know, as we all do, maybe some unnecessary
Maybe a little
evil,
apprehensive.
a little apprehensive, yeah, or a little maybe there's a reputation, so he
Mm.
tries, mm,
Nice.
you know, so he would be a patchwork of sorts.
Okay. Perfect.
Maybe to the chagrin of others, maybe to say, why do you dress this way? What is your pick something that works? You're kind of busy.
Did you
Oh, and
find it?
but Ren
Sorry. Go
does
ahead.
not carry weapons. He doesn't carry weapons,
Okay.
so he is. I mean, right as of now, he prefers. He is trained in combat. I took hand to hand,
Okay.
so he prefers not to use weapons if possible. He doesn't. I didn't pick that gear slot, so right
Okay.
now it's just.
That's
Let me
okay.
just double
My
check. Martial training he has. And
I
go ahead, Mary Beth is the tank.
yeah, I'll hit things with my big chain thing.
Yeah. As we work together, sometimes when the chain comes out, it's like, not my friend, you have brought out the chain. I will step back. The chain will speak for all of us. Oh, and LG, I'm gonna call him Sadiq.
You're gonna call him what?
Sadiq. That's
Sadiq?
Arabic. Sadiq.
I like it.
Yeah, it's Arabic for friend. I just figured let me.
Aww.
So that is what I would call him. Sadiq.
He's your
He's
little
of
pal.
my little pal, Sadiq LG. Sadiq LG does
What?
sound
How
kind
do
of.
you Sadyk? Sadiq? What?
I think
No,
it's IQ.
yeah. S is in Sam, A is in Adam, D is in David, I is in Ida, Q is in Queen.
Sadiq.
Sadiq. Sadiq LG.
And that's effectively your familiar.
My guardian. I'll explain it again because I'm still. You have a
I'm
mystical
sorry. I'm
ally.
still not. I don't really. Okay.
No, it's okay. You define them and their powers with the Keeper's Agreement. Their look is one of invisible and intangible spirit thing, a weird creature disguised as an animal or disguised as a person. So he could be a spirit, alien, or cryptid. So
Okay.
I would say he's. It says weird creature. Intangible spirit thing, a weird
That's not
creature
what I want.
disguised as an animal, disguised as a person. So I guess he would come across as a little person, just these large eyes.
He's a little
I
person.
guess. Well, since we're science fiction,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess he can be because would Greys kind of be involved? Would this be something that or are they still a rare thing? I don't know because they're kind of secretive people, creatures. Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no real issue with putting Greys in this universe, but
Okay.
maybe they're more of a standoffish species. Maybe they have kind of a Greys have kind of a weird reputation in the circles that because they're known by the Tamtors, the Clorns, and the Asado. They all of them have been, for lack of a better term, probed by the Greys at one point in their evolution, but the
Okay.
Greys are considered an extremely old species and tend to keep them to themselves. They like to do exactly that. They are kind of standoffish. Maybe how would your Grey have come? Why are you making that face, Grace?
Because now that we're describing them that way, they're making me think of the Asgard from Stargate,
Like,
which
yeah.
is very much what they like. The idea in Stargate is that that's what inspired the Greys in our culture is that the Asgard have kind of lived on in our civilization's memory because they were here at one point,
Mm.
but they're like an elite alien that mostly keeps to
Mm.
itself,
Well, that
if
I
that makes
like
sense.
that. Yeah, because he'll be as him. Maybe he won't be disguised. Maybe that is part of how Beren at going to the Vendara system, the most farthest reaches of the explored universe and
Mm-hmm.
system, contact with the Grey, and perhaps this Grey is curious as Beren, and they form this link.
Okay.
Ooh,
And maybe this is one of the Greys that wants to interact in a way, is trying to uh, I wouldn't necessarily integrate, not assimilate, integrate, but maybe to ingratiate itself into other cultures of since the Greys have been dabbled in all these other cultures. They've explored and did their experiments, and but like you said, Michael, they standoffish. Like, I guess their knowledge is their ultimate goal of everything.
plus,
So
like you
maybe,
said, you've been like out beyond and
yeah.
far, and you've been thinking about the edge of the universe.
Hmm. And so this intrigues Sadiq, or his real name probably can't pronounce, but
So you're describing something to me, and are you familiar with DS9 at all? Deep Space Nine.
a little bit, a little bit.
Do you know who Garrick is in Deep Space Nine? He's the
No.
Cardassian tailor stationed on
Okay.
Deep Space Nine. He's a very much a fish out of water, being a Cardassian,
Yes, I
and
know. Yeah, I've seen him.
and
Yep.
yeah, and he has a very troubled character on Deep Space Nine. There's a
Mm,
lot of conflict because he's not a huge fan of humans,
mhm,
but he's also not a huge fan of Cardassians either for a lot of different
mhm.
reasons. So he's kind of settled on DS9, which is a hub of alien activity in Star Trek. Um,
Mhm.
I just meant a
um,
typical Garrick.
he's a great character if
Yeah.
you watch the show. He's a very deep, dark, troubled
Mhm,
character. Anyway, so you kind of described that to me like maybe Sadiq would Sadiq be on. Did you meet them while you were way in the deep dark or
Uh,
the outer
yes,
reaches? Okay.
he did. And was taken, and he was not really abducted. He was voluntarily to that at the end. So he gave himself freely. So I think that with the Greys, that ingratiated himself with them because he gave himself freely. When usually they just come and take and do
Mm-hmm.
what they want. So and
So he's an
Sadiq,
outsider to Grays.
I think Grace, uh, Mary Beth,
No, 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 no.
what's
He's an outsider to Grays, not
yes,
Grace.
yes, yes. I think it's Grace. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
my
he
bad.
chose to shrug off
Yeah,
that yoke of to him to Sadiq, that kind of oppressive nature in a
a
way. It
cultural
just
bias.
Like
yes,
Drift
culture bias.
Jordan, he has left his
Yes,
Jordan.
homeland.
yes. There you
Yeah,
go. Perfect, perfect analogy. So that
fucking
is,
nerds.
and he's adrift. He's gonna make his way to kind of maybe bridge the gap. So that's his. So who better to team up than Beren? and go on adventures with see what. So I think that too adds to Beren's mystique, and maybe why he is in the security, because he has this gray with him, and people are still afraid of them in a way too. So maybe there's a little bit of.
Now, does Sadiq travel with you around? He's kind of there.
I think he has, again. That's why I try to use the bubble universe. The Greys have managed to use the bubble universe through
Mm-hmm.
wormholes, or be able to transcend time and space.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense with them. So I guess he can, if Beren needs him, he will appear. He will make his way to him. Maybe there's times when, again, this is just flavor that Sadiq is exploring on his own, maybe throughout the ship.
Well, I guess my question is: so is Sadiq able to manifest at will for
Yes.
you? Okay.
Yes.
So where Sadiq is at any given moment is effectively unknown to you, or does he? So he's in an upper dimension of some sort.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Again, I call it the bubble universe. He's in a different universe.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Exploring, doing what Greys do. He still has that Grey mentality, but he's slowly getting away from it. But he also likes to explore and open his mind to things. So, yeah, he'll be bopping around different bubble universes.
Do you have bionic legs, Grace?
Yeah, yeah, because I think
Okay.
that's cool. And if we're living in the future and I can, then yes.
Is that you?
And
Do you wear the Hello Kitty kind of headphones and?
only when I want people to get the message that I don't want to talk to them.
I guess they're not really. They're like rats or something. I don't know. Anyway, they got like little ears.
That's a cool pick.
Yeah, it's definitely like straight out of cyberpunk. Oh, complete with necklace with
I
some
think
kind of
it's
rock.
somebody's deviant art, fan art of inspired by the new games.
Probably. So less of that sweet and wholesome blonde that you had earlier.
No, I picked that before I heard the
Yeah.
part about us being on a space station, but now that I know that, I'm gonna just go with this.
All right.
A real traditional name for a real untraditional kind of gal.
Yeah.
Kind of sets the tone, kind of sets them off, that juxtaposition of tone where, on the itinerary, you see the name Mary Beth. You don't expect that to walk through the door, right? It really throws people off.
I like to think that old-fashioned names are just like in vogue for these last couple of generations. So there's a lot of Gretas, a lot of Mary Beths.
Nice. Everything's old is new again.
Exactly.
So while you guys sit here, enjoying your, Virgin Pangalactic Gargle Blasters, which is
Fritz's.
spritzes, Pangalactic Gargle Spritzes. Both of you get, intercom notices from Commander Obrick, your boss. I guess. Or would that be Lieutenant? I don't know ranks. I'm dumb. So.
Commander's good.
Commander's good. 3 human bodies have been found dead in one of the lower decks of Pioneer Station, and she'll give you a ping of where it is on the station itself, where they were found.
So I forgot to say I have that thing at the beginning of each mystery. Should I do that now? And I forget what do you actually roll? I haven't rolled dice for this game
2d6.
before.
2d6.
It's 2d6. Okay.
Yeah.
I only have the one.
I got d6 here.
5. 1 plus plus 2. That's 9. So on a 9,
good.
I'm supposed to get a vague hint about something mystery.
A vague hint. Yeah. What's the name of your cult?
Um,
Come on.
I'm trying to think of a cult name that fits the future, and I'm coming up blank.
The left hand of God.
Ooh, we're the Modis, the Moten Goddess Eye.
Ooh, I like that.
You're picking Modis from the Mote in God's Eye.
Yes,
Mm.
The one
we're
hand
known colloquially as Modis.
Modis.
And people do think of us as a cult, but I don't. I am part of an organization.
Okay. You have heard from your own cult contacts that they've heard rumor of an unknown artifact coming onto the station soon / recently.
Okay. The gripping hand lets me know that an unknown artifact has come onto the
It's a
station.
great name for the Modi's secret society, the Gripping Hand. If you know the book, The Mote in God's Eye, great book, Niven.
Yes.
The Modis have three hands or three arms, and they say on one hand, on the other hand, and then finally they always say on the gripping hand, which is their third option instead of, they always weigh everything. Humans one hand, the other hand. Theirs
Yeah.
is always the gripping hand is their third option.
I like that.
So they consider things on the gripping hand, which is the hand that they use to hold on to things while the other hands usually manipulate it.
Yeah, basically what happened was as humanity realized that aliens and space travel and all of this stuff is actually real, they got kind of obsessed with some of the early 20th century and 21st century sci-fi writers, and some people took some of them as more fact.
Oh.
Kind of like our weirdo Scientologists of today.
Yes, yes. Or L. Ron Hubbard.
So a lot of the references are just geeky sci-fi stuff.
Like,
I think I really like the Modis. They're really Niven really created a kind of cool culture. So the thing about the Modis is that they never developed mass manufacturing or the idea of interchangeable parts. So literally everything is a one-off. Everything is pretty much unique in its own kind of way. Like clearly,
Then
yeah, everything's very artisan, and so although some things work very similar to one another, no two things because there's no interchangeable parts really, and so yeah, it's very interesting world that Niven created. Anyway, that has nothing to do with our current situation.
we're adding flavor and texture to this.
oh, thank you. You gave me dice. Anyway, I got a 9. So I know there's an artifact, an unknown artifact. I'll let ooh, do we have little what are our communicators?
What do you want them to be?
What do you want them to be, Brian?
I will leave that up to you.
God damn it.
Oh, I thought you had a good idea. Oh, I don't.
Did it.
Oh, we could. Well,
My brain just goes to Star Trek, so I feel unoriginal saying just a thing that I click that goes boop and then I speak.
well, we could have them on our palms to hit, or Spider-Man web swingers. That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, really, it's
I like the
a base.
Spider-Man. You all wear this bracelet, this communication bracelet, effectively, and it has a projector on it. So when you open your palm, it'll basically and it uses your eyes, so only really you can see it. But if you see someone like looking at their palm like this, but they would do it lower like this,
Mm-hmm.
I see.
you can see they'll get like a visual representation, like their own HUD or whatever they design it. But it's relatively,
Ooh.
it's transparent to you, so you can still see through it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like a hologram. Effectively, it projects a hologram into your palm that you can manipulate, um, or
I
view
like it.
messages, or look at pings, or literally anything you would do with your normal nav stuff.
Cool. I like to think it's the bracelet on her left wrist in the
Mm.
picture then, because it's kind
Yeah,
of
it's up
flat
to
and
the
long. So it.
user. Yeah.
Anyway.
Boom.
So then,
Done.
yeah, she'll be going through her messages, I guess, and see that. So
Mhm.
she'll turn and tell you about how I learned that there is an unknown artifact coming.
Hmm. This
Maybe
is
it's related.
intriguing. Perhaps a new artifact and deaths. Sure.
3
I can.
dead, is that right?
Yes.
3 humans.
Mm.
Oh, right, humans. And where were they again?
Kind of in one of the lower levels, kind of what are considered more of the bowels of the space station these days.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for my drink. Oh, we should probably
I'll
go
let you
there.
guys have some of the drink. I mean, it's
Well.
not
We're gonna
exactly like the TV trope where nobody gets to finish a drink or finish a cigarette or say goodbye on the phone.
I was just gonna say that. I would say good thing hang up right away. So
No,
fucking rude.
you don't tell them where you're gonna meet. You don't say when. You just hang
Yeah,
up.
just hang up.
You just hang up.
Okay. Well, we should head down there though. I like to think we're up here and they're down there. Um,
Yes, I concur. First, another sip, a breath, then we shall.
all right.
Sip, breath, and proceed.
She immediately stands up, antsy like.
I will follow. You have the most energy, Mary. You clear the path.
Yeah, you guys are, you pay your tab on your wrist. You just cash out with your wrist.
Yep. Cash out
No,
with
it's
your wrist.
literally just like a button. Like there's like a little orbiting notification
Okay.
icon that has your standing tab, and then you can tap on it and just pay it out, right?
Sweet.
Um,
Bam.
because future. So,
It's the future, sin. Great song by Jonathan Coulter.
yeah, you guys are able to pay your tab and walk out of the gravity well. You find yourself on the main promenade, not to use more DS9 terms, which is a long stretch of, you know, inner workings of the space station. You are not inner workings, but like a giant promenade. It's a big open space where there's shops, kind of like a bazaar style. Outside, when you walk out, it's more of a hustle and bustle street side with actual kind of street vendors and carts going by. Yeah, if you've ever seen DS9, exactly. There's even little kiosks in DS9,
Mhm.
and yeah, kind of same atmosphere is what I imagine, and kind of in this backdrop of clatter, uh, you guys are able to make your way to one of the elevators. A main shaft elevator. You guys are actually able to call priority because you're police. It's kind of like getting to turn the traffic lights green. But you get to basically summon an elevator rather than wait to its whims. It really upsets the people when you walk on because they did not end up on the floor they wanted to be on.
I mean,
Elevator technicians
And
can
then
do
they're
that
not going to be able
IRL.
to get off on the stuff that they want to either because you're about to make them go somewhere. So as you step on, there's a couple Tamtors, a Clorn, and like 3 other humans. Um, And yeah, no, you guys are able to easily make your way down to level 87.
All right.
It basically goes negative, but it goes positive but down. So like the first is like where commands start 1, and then you go 89 is really down. It's like basement 89, not really 80, but there's no real up and down in space, so you guys can suck it. Anyway.
When you have gravity in a space station, there's very much up and down.
Well, yeah, I eat a poop. So, anyway, yeah, you're at basement 89.
All right.
Deep into the bowels, and you guys find yourself, and the one of the things down here is that there isn't a lot of beat cops. There's not a lot of patrolling down in these areas. We're pretty far down into the reaches of the space station.
So I know we're like plainclothes, but do people like know us though?
Depends. Like I mean that depends for you guys.
Or recognize, I guess.
Would you guys wear any identify personally as detectives/cops? For me, I'm going to tell you no. There's nothing requiring you by police policy or by station policy that says you must directly identify yourselves as a detective for the police force. If you were a beat cop or you were there to do like some kind of enforcement, yeah, but you're doing an investigation, so if you basically get the perks of being able to call green lights, but you aren't required to identify yourself. I think the people you got on the elevator with might figure it out, given your ability to just move the elevators at whim.
Okay.
If that's what you're alluding to.
No, I'm not alluding to anything. I was just asking exactly the question I asked because I wanted to get a sense for like, I don't know, how recognizable. I don't even know.
You'd hear a couple snorts from the chlorns, when you walk on. You get like he doesn't. They don't. Not. Man, they're aggressive. I want to put them aggressive, like Klingons. They have a reputation of being aggressive and rowdy, and law enforcement are not their favorite people. Yeah, prickly.
Yeah, I got
quick to temper.
Okay. So where are the bodies?
I was gonna say maybe Mary Beth does wear some kind of because maybe does she like that? Is she like to say, hey, is that her personality to be a little cloudy?
Know yet. I'm trying to see. Because I'm not sure.
Right now I'm visiting the power dynamic is Mary Beth is a little more forceful, a little more has a presence given by the way she looks and radiates a certain kind of power. This is my take. Where Berin is a little laid back. So he's a little deference to Mary Beth. That's what I'm envisioning right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm playing Mary Beth basically as somebody who knows she's the chosen one.
Yeah, so I would think he'd be like, hey, maybe a little insignia on her outermost garment to say, yeah, this is who I am. Back off, because I'm chosen. I am special, and you should know it.
Got that big chain on her back too. It's got a long handle, and the chain.
Yeah, I think the chain has some. Oh, the chain. I think you have a bit of a reputation that kind of maybe precedes you, or filters through the station.
So you wear a literal chip on your shoulder. Do people? To some degree. So do people believe you? I mean, this sounds like there's some pomp in your or self aggrandizing tendencies of self importance. Do people believe you? I mean, you espouse your own specialness, but
I kind of think that that's going to depend on how good my rolls are this session.
Fair enough.
Can I follow through?
The game would imply it's ultimately true regardless, but
This is fair. This is fair.
Uh,
I don't know if it always
do
feels true
you
if you get
believe
enough
you're the
nails.
chosen one?
Oh yes, she believes it. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
She has completely
Okay.
swallowed the Kool-Aid of this organization with credible tenants.
Okay. So,
I don't know how they proved it to her. They just did. Sorry.
I mean, if you get told it from a very early time, I imagine you drink that Kool-Aid up, right? And you don't really think about it.
Also fair.
Why would you have a reason to doubt it? You've been told it your entire life by people much older than you and much, much wiser. So why question?
Yeah.
Well, you already know to be the truth.
I mean, I have the magic chain.
There you go.
Yeah, you guys, you guys bullshit and meander your way down through the halls here in basement 89. You see, think San Francisco tent camp, homeless tent camp kind of atmosphere down here. This is where the gamblers and the addicts usually wash up. Uh, so finding dead bodies down here isn't particularly surprising, but it still needs investigated, right?
Is there an active crime scene, or is it done? Is it body still here, or
The as you make your way back there, the bodies are still there. It does look like so this was just reported, and you got to understand basement 89 isn't exactly high priority. As I said, like this is where kind of
right?
the refuse wash up. And you guys are doing what is effectively Pioneer Station's due diligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when you do find the bodies, it does look like someone or something has definitely picked over the clothing and everything. But the
Mm-hmm.
bodies are still intact. You find them kind of jumbled and massed together, clumped on top of one another in a heap. Uh, with
So are
their
we
refuses, or rather, not their refuse,
Mhm.
with their I want to say refuse, but that's a completely wrong word. They're basically just their stuff having been rifled through, like their pockets and stuff like that.
Belonging?
Belongings, yeah.
So are we the first authorities on scene, or did somebody just called it in and just sent us with beat
Yeah, they
cops
sent
down
you
here?
guys. No, they didn't. They sent you guys down because they look like they were reported as murders.
Mm-hmm. So we're it. We're the official
What'd I
first.
do? Why are you making that face?
No, this is just Mary Beth would be rolling her eyes, walking up, and just loudly going, "Hey! Hey! Dead people just going through their stuff. You people have no decency. We live in a society."
Ah, yes.
No, I like that. I like the idea of you just berating the deadbeats and druggies, the
And
destitute,
Bren
the
just
downtrodden.
exhales like, I see you have pretty much taken our ability to canvass for witnesses, crushed it to
Yeah, you
death.
guys,
Tell 'em.
you guys find yourselves presented with three, haphazardly placed corpses.
All right, I'm gonna kneel down and try and just
Are you gonna take
look
your
the
glasses off and say something witty,
um
CSI style? No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
I'm just messing.
Okay, Horatio.
Yeah.
I would like to look the bodies over for anything that gives like cause of death. I'm trying to see cause of death.
And I'm going to try to read the crowd while Mary Beth is getting her hands dirty. Beren is taking in people around, the flotsam and jetsam of the underbelly. Is anybody paying us any attention?
Oh, you want to see if anybody is watching the bodies, or you guys looking at / watching the
Yeah.
bodies?
Yeah, I'm doing it unobtrusively as much as I can. I'm maybe looking down at Mary Beth and just kind of tilting my head, but then I'm looking up at the surrounding populace.
Um, give me a read a bad situation.
That is sharp, right?
It literally says when you look around and read a bad
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, roll sharp.
7.
Hold 1. You're looking for. You're just looking around. You're trying to
Mm-hmm.
suss out the looky loos.
Yeah.
With a 7, I guess if there's a question or something specific in here that you want to ask, there's.
Okay.
Trying to think what to just give you with a 7.
Just to get mystery situation. Okay. Most vulnerable. Respect the victims.
I guess, are there any
Oh,
dangers we haven't noticed,
yeah.
Fitz, right? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
yeah.
the best one. Yeah.
Um I wouldn't call it an immediate danger, but there are 2 kind of strangely cloaked, almost like monkey cloak, monk
Mm-hmm.
cloak. Oh, thank you, Prigo. You didn't have to. This. Can I just copy that as an image somewhere? Is it just going to do something weird with my computer when I drag this over? There we go.
Right
That
there.
works.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That looks sinister.
Hmm.
Maybe because there's no one in it. Oh no, there is someone in it.
They're the
Oh, look,
ghosts.
I got nice red ones too.
Mm.
But no, they're more in this gray, this blue gray. There you go.
Gotcha.
Wow, Monk's Romad Hood, only $138.
What a bargain.
I need to buy that thing I'll never wear. Woo. No, kidding.
There's my Halloween costume.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're being watched. So to answer your question, like, are you being, watched? Yeah, absolutely. You can see that there are definitely looky loos. There are definitely some rubberneckers. What their intention is not entirely clear. But I mean,
But the robed figures are the most out of everybody else. I think present the most.
yeah,
They're
they're
more
most
creepy.
suspect.
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to investigate the bodies and try and figure out that cause of death.
Mm-hmm.
Investigate a mystery.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I got 9 again.
9 on investigate a mystery gives you on a 7 and 9. Hold 1. You gotta.
So I guess what happened here? What killed them?
So as you kneel down to investigate the bodies, you kind of you know open up their shirt, and a surgical incision has been made in each and every one of their bodies. A very precise surgical incision across their. I don't have my camera.
Mm-hmm.
Muted.
You're muted.
A very precise surgical incision
Sound like Gene Wilder.
across
Right.
their heart.
So
And
there is.
the weird thing is that there's no bleeding, there's no blood anywhere, and in fact, uh, on further investigation, you notice that their bodies themselves look um, gaunt and are drained of all of their blood.
Oh, this is not your run of the mill.
Uh-uh. No. People still need their blood.
And no matter what species so far, we haven't met one without blood yet.
No, I heard about this one guy though who was working on this whole thing where you could circulate different stuff. But anyway, I don't think that's ready yet. So,
Well, I would
so
tell Mary Beth that there's these rope figures that are giving us the looking at
and
us pointed.
and I will share to you about the
Mm.
surgical cut and lack of blood. Are the two people still standing there? That can I maybe get an, you know, not looking at them but looking at them, glance and
Mary Beth, as you knelt down and started investigating the bodies themselves, uh, oh, I need to remember your character's name. Berin, you notice that the two almost immediately kind of turn face and begin to walk away.
Mm. Look, this is a promising lead, so I am going to. I tell Mary Beth, they need to be interviewed. They could shed some light on this.
Okay.
absolutely. Do Can we do like a thing where we have an idea of maybe where they're going from the way that from their trajectory, so we could maybe cut them off in some sort of way?
Yeah, I believe the crime scene is already tainted. So
Um.
And I've taken several pictures with my glasses that have cameras in them.
Okay.
this is good.
Um. Go ahead and act under pressure if you're trying to head them off at a pass. What'd you get?
You're not gonna believe this.
I will believe it.
9. 8 plus 1.
Oh, where is act under pressure? 9.
Oh, but are you trying to do the same thing? Like maybe you can help and we can push it to a 10.
You
Yes.
could.
Oh yeah. 11.
11. Okay, 11. You're able to push it over to a 10. Yeah. You
I know
you're
where they're
like
going. Turn it this way. Go this way.
through some very quick thinking, Mary Beth, you quickly pull out your palm pad and you're able to kind of take like your police access and kind of scope around the map and kind of see that Berin saw them kind of come around this corner and you were able to actually continue down the corridor you were already in, kind of away, and you were able to hedge your way around. And yeah, no, you guys are able to cut these two very monked up figures uh, there in the hallway.
You said they're gray blue
Yep.
robes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. As we are going to there, as we try getting away, Beren would have activated his palm unit
Okay.
relayed pertinent information to command about the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Who's very efficient. But also too, or maybe Meredith with her glasses. Could we do like I get a retinal, like a to see if they're in any database, like visual, like take a visual image and against databases of cults, religious sects, criminal sects to do kind of a search.
Maybe my own people know of them
Mm-hmm.
since my people are also religious.
Oh yes, as
So
we are attempting to cut them off.
I'm gonna
We
leave it
do.
to you guys. Hey, I'm totally cool with that. First of all, but my question is, do I want to bend this because as use magic because it's like future tech basically, kind of doing some future techy things, or is it just a straight investigate the mystery to you guys?
Hmm.
Because I realize facial recognition technology yada 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 exists in here now, so it's not necessarily big magic, but maybe
I guess investigative.
you guys are trying to do something special or different specifically.
Well, my character's two kind of heroic things that I picked for her
Mm-hmm.
were magic powers and being the champion.
Okay.
So I think her having magic ways of doing stuff makes sense.
Okay.
My question would be though, is magic kind of a commonplace thing, or is it something that is hidden? And
Well, that's what I meant. Like, are we trying to treat it as like super future tech, like like you're a meteor crystal or whatever? You're a meteor fragment, right? That's what you said it was.
yeah, it's like a that's that's what the chain is made out of.
Okay.
The my chain weapon.
Oh, oh, I kind of thought this was some kind of like like channeling object, like trinket thing, like from D&D that you would use, but um.
I could have that too.
Okay,
I'm just saying my
I'm just trying to wrap my head around whether or not this is that you want to do. You just gonna straight investigate a mystery, or is this some kind of future tech thing where it's like any sufficiently advanced technology is no different than magic, um, kind of thing. Investigate a mystery. Which one are you
Okay.
doing it? It's Brian. It's
Oh,
Barin. Barin, go ahead and investigate a mystery for me because
Okay.
this is you
Okay.
doing it, not her.
No, I was gonna say, getting back to whether there's magic in this world or just tech. I don't mind a combination of both. Maybe
Mhm.
magic is really not is kind of hidden. It's kind of taboo. I don't know. It's up to whatever you guys feel you want to do. Um, unless you want to keep it straight sci-fi and go super tech for magic.
No, just go ahead and roll the investigate a mystery.
Okay.
I can make it work 100%. Sure.
Oh Jesus! Let me see. Investigate a mystery. Sharp. That is 9. 9 again.
Jeepers, guys.
Uh, so that's beep. What's happening here? What sort of creature? What can I do? What's going on here? What is being concealed here? Because they're acting sus. They're trying to conceal something.
So even in the kind of the dim light of the corridor here, you catch a just a quick little glimpse of this, um, like a holy symbol, kind of pendulums out from the under one of the large cuffs of the and you immediately kind of recognize it as the holy symbol for the children of the true prophet.
Mm.
Uh, You know them as a human cult that uh, the true prophet is actually a kind of clorn myth that they've grasped onto and kind of run to a weird place.
What do they call themselves? Like the disciples? Do they have a special name? If they're children, or do they call themselves anything?
They're called. I mean, they just call themselves. I mean, as a whole, yeah, they're called the children of the true prophet. Do they have a name for their individuals? Disciples. They called each other the disciples.
Okay, so uh, Beren is going to call out to them, disciples. Please, a moment.
Marybeth, do you say anything?
No, he has it in hand. I'm gonna let him. He seems to know what they are. I don't.
Oh, I will. I'm sorry. I will
Well,
tell Mary that
well,
he's over.
how can you tell them while we're trying to
No, I
deal with the
understand. Yeah.
Oh,
situation?
can't.
So
Yeah, we can't.
However, I would say that you would immediately pick up on him referring to them as the disciples. It would kind of click with you, Mary Beth, like disciples. You would know that through notoriety what he and given the context of the robed individuals, you would put two and two together that these are disciples. Um,
do I recognize like children of the true prophet specifically? Like, is it well known, or do I just kind of recognize that he knows what's going on and these are clearly
you'd know.
religious guys? I
You
know
your cult ultimately, and other
my
cults.
organization.
Sorry, my bad. Your organization.
Mhm.
It's such a nasty word, cult. Um,
Make
we are
sense.
just of one mind, and one purpose.
All right. Okay. Anyway,
So yeah,
I'm
cool.
I'm gonna let him talk to them.
Did they stop when I say disciples? Please, a moment.
Yes, they will stop, but they won't reply at all to you. They will just kind of stay looking almost. You don't see their faces. Ultimately, the picture I linked where the kind of obscured face, that's what you're getting. They're kind of. I want to say they have this crestfallen look, but you don't really see that emotionally. You just kind of see them looking down, kind of downcast.
I will activate my palm. What are we calling it? The palm
I don't care.
Add.
Your palm pad.
pad. Palm pad. It'll bring up. I have it where you hit a certain way and it brings up
Your
your
hollow palm. We're
identification.
gonna call him your hollow palm.
How
Your hollow palm.
comes up with the credentials, Pioneer Security Division, whatever, how it comes up. This thing,
Mm-hmm.
blah. I say, please, remove, please draw back your hoods. We just have a few questions. You were by the crime scene earlier. Please, only a few moments of your time, disciples.
They do not comply with your request and stay quiet.
Mm.
He's in front of them and I'm behind them, right? Because we were kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Sure, if you want. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just waiting then.
All right.
Do,
Yeah.
do we know if they took a vow of silence to not only to speak to people outside of the cult, or
No, they aren't known for being particularly chatty, but a vow of silence, no.
look?
So we would presume they're just being kind of hostilely passive.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
There's only questions, and you can go on your way if you proceed to obstruct investigation. Then I'm afraid this will turn not to your advantage.
Not to
So
your
please.
advantage.
So please, a few questions, and you're on your way back to your sect. That is all.
Um, at the end of your request, uh, you see the two hoods kind of look to one another. Hood. That sounds terrible. That's not a turn of phrase I intended to use. You see the two hooded figures and their hoods look towards one another, and then in but a heartbeat, both run in opposite directions.
Oh, I go for the one on the right.
Okay. You try to tackle the one on the right, or you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for them. I'm gonna just like
Yeah.
leap upon them, and he's gonna go for the one on the left. I
That's
trust.
right.
I'm going
Yes,
right, he's
that's
going left.
true. I will use my martial arts to trip him, kick out, leg sweep him.
Okay. Act under pressure. Starting with Marybeth.
Excellent. That's the thing I'm good at. So, okay.
That's cool.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a 9. It's a 6 and a 2 plus a 1, and it's a 9.
Man, you're just making me live in the quasi good, quasi bad world.
They're making me live there. I would be happy with a 10.
Force my ass to improv.
Yes, fuck mother.
As you try to take your monk down, your disciple down, you see that he's not only concealing a holy symbol, he's also concealing a very large, well, not very large, a curved knife that curves around almost to his, basically comes around and curves along his forearm.
Is this motherfucker going for that?
Going for what? No, it's
Going
attached
for
to
that
his
blade?
arm.
It's on
It's
his arm.
basically up his
It's
sleeve,
part of his
right?
arm.
It's basically, well, it's not part of his arm, but it's a
Oh,
knife that kind of curves along his arm, and it's like up his sleeve to some degree.
yeah, but is it like coming out, or can I just kind of see it? Like,
Sure,
I think you
let's
just
make
kind
it
of
part of his arm.
ah!
Ah!
I'm sorry, mister. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Concealed under the robe, what you thought were hands are actually mechanoid cyborg attachment. Exactly, cyborg. Yeah, beep, 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 beep. No,
Oh God.
yeah, clamp or no clamp. Yeah, he's got a blade for a hand now.
I'm sorry, mister.
I'm sorry, Mister.
All right. Well,
Come here,
I'm
sweetie.
just trying to restrain him at this time.
Okay.
I'm trying to stop him from getting away, and ideally, my goal would be to be like sitting on his back, and and you know, having his arms behind him, and
So I'm gonna give you an option because of your role. You can either let him get away or take 2 damage in the struggle as he slashes you as you take him down to the ground.
ouch. Okay, yeah, no, I'll take the damage. I'm not letting him get away.
Brian, give me an act under pressure. Or sorry, Barin, give me an act under pressure.
It's my friend.
You know, if you lay down, you might be more comfortable, Bonbon.
I have written 10.
So yeah, you're able to take him down to the ground. Barin, I can't tell if you can hear me very well because I have the mic.
Yeah.
Because I have a cat attacking me.
Well, I leg swept him. I kicked his legs out from underneath him, so he falls down hard onto the deck.
So yeah, with a hard clang, you hear him come down. Also, the cuff of his robe, or rather the arm of his robe, reveals another long curved knife. but you are not, of course, hit. You both find yourself having subdued these two, but they are effective. I mean, they're not talking to you, but you have, subdued. You've put them in a situation where they're not attacking you anymore or running away, for that matter.
Mm.
Sweetie, you're very hairy.
Oh, my friends, all you have to do is answer questions now, and I'll put my boot on the one that's down his neck. Say, now you cannot. You are under arrest.
Do do we have futuristic handcuffs?
We must have restraints type handcuffs, or at least incapacitate them
You know,
somehow.
they do exist. Future handcuffs do exist, but you personally and Pioneer Station's police force themselves have found that truly the 21st century's zip tie is truly the most versatile cuff. It fits all animals or all species. Is extremely adaptable.
I am going to
I love you.
I am going to use magic to create some kind of like goopy coating that goes over his weird blade appendage and
Okay.
then hardens maybe. The idea is to keep keep that also under control cuz he cut me up getting him subdued.
Now he's under. Now you are
Ah.
going
Yeah,
to
you're like
be.
leaking hydraulic fluid from your leg or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm going to have to take it in for repairs.
It's the worst.
This is most egregious. Another charge to criminal mischief.
Oh man, it's going to be like so many credits.
Hmm. Well, I would say this is line of duty. Perhaps the workers' compensation of the security division may cover this.
Yeah.
You are injured in the line of duty. They should pay for it.
It's true.
So
But
I'm gonna try to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure I could do that thing with the knife and get it covered.
Oh yes.
How does this? How do you accomplish this?
So I'd like to roll with your weird futuristic like hyper futuristic stuff is magic thing, and maybe I've like paid for a few of these different weird
Sure,
like
use magic.
things, and so I take these two little like glass jars and I clink them together over his hand, and like some blue shiny comes out of one, some green shiny comes out of the other, and then they turn into this weird goop and then harden as they go over
So it's
his
like
face.
spray foam, only it's like hardens to a cast
Yes,
like state.
exactly. That's exactly what I'm picturing.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah. Okay, I still want you to use magic though.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
sweetheart, yes, I love you. Yes, I do.
Ten.
You're my sweet kitten.
Nice.
Mhm.
Right, I'll be right back. Be back in 1 minute.
Mhm.
Back.
I
Mm.
love you, but you're a little tiger, and you're too much on my tummy. You're too much. You're too much on my tummy. Because I'm trying to play a video game. No, I'm not trying to play a video game. I'm trying to play a game.
Ooh, I get experience for that. So if we're gonna go with this thing of hyper future stuff being magic, then that's going to be something that my character kind of specializes in, because I think it would be cool to have her magic powers kind of come out in this weird alchemy future stuff. Like alchemy and cyborgs, that's hence her legs, it like all rolls together.
No, absolutely. Give me a second. I gotta get hair off my face.
Fur cats. Ah, they're so cute.
Okay, back.
Well, he stepped away, so
I'm here. Oh, he did? Michael did? Oh.
yeah, he did. So I was
Well,
telling him that if we're gonna do the futuristic stuff is magic, then I'm just gonna lean into like the bionics and cyborg and maybe
oh,
like
I love it.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I dig it. This is getting interesting. I don't know. Might have to switch gears. Tell Iggy. Sorry. They're on a hiatus.
Definitely fun. I just really like sci-fi stuff too, so
Yeah, I get into it too, so we'll see. That depends on what Michael and everybody wants to do, but I wouldn't mind switching gears a little bit. We shall see. We shall see. Mike's muted. Michael's muted.
So you're having too much fun in your sci-fi world already?
Uh-huh.
No, I really like
No.
the idea of using magic tech, not like using alien technology slash and kind of conflating that intentionally, conflating
Mhm.
that with use magic. But so Grace, you are able to successfully I'm gonna call it cryocasting.
ooh, I like it.
Yeah, you're able to successfully cryocast the guy's arm, effectively rendering his weapon inert. And Brian, sorry, Berin, you
Yes.
have like you're not crushing in a literal sense, but you're crushing his own arm against his body, also subduing and rendering their weapon inert. Um, so yeah, you guys kind of, for lack of a better term, are lording over these two monks that are kind of struggling around on the ground trying to get away from you guys.
Oh, I'm getting mine up. I'm lifting him up to his feet, like up we go and off we go. You are under arrest. You should not have
Yep.
you shouldn't have cut me up, man. This is a bad look for you. Come on.
Bad look. Bad look for you indeed.
Bionics are a privilege. They are not.
Berin.
Well, I guess I'll have to apply the zip tie to this guy.
Yeah.
Does that act under pressure or?
No. With Mary Beth also with the other guy being subdued, effectively, leaving Mary Beth with some free hands to help. She is able to, keep him
Gotcha.
what's the word I'm looking for? But yeah. She's able to manhandle.
Docile?
What's that?
Docile?
Well, manhandle him enough to keep him in line and get him cuffed up. I mean, you guys can escort him to the brig, 100%.
Yep. As we're going, Beren's going to talk to this one and say, unfortunately now you could have just spoken to us, but you chose this path. It's an action you assault. Sir, duty. Now, when you are processed, your robes will be removed from your body. Do you know this? I try to appeal to his maybe he'll talk. You will be searched. Your objects will be your clothes, garments. Paraphernalia will be invoiced.
Do you peel back the cloaks, guys,
Oh yeah, definitely.
revealing their faces? So
Yeah.
What you find underneath the robes are more robot than man. You find
Mm-hmm.
like think like Terminator,
Mm-hmm.
but the face is it's oh man, I'm thinking RoboCop basically. Have you seen RoboCop where he's got his face over the
Oh yeah,
anyway?
I love Robo. Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically it's RoboCop. Grace, if you look at me, RoboCop, his face is like face. It's like human.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fall over. You're only sitting. His face is
Mm-hmm.
like human face, and it's like normal human face and human brain actually to some degree, but he's all robot underneath. It's like basically RoboCop's cerebral. Can't believe we've never watched RoboCop. We need to watch RoboCop.
Oh my
Um,
God, yes,
Said before that I want to.
um,
it's fucking
some of the
awesome.
most hilariously perfect, just is it early '90s or late '80s? Just action, people dying stuff.
It was 87. I
'87.
believe. Yeah, I believe it was 87. Could be wrong. So.
Of course he's right.
Why would he be wrong?
Well, I started looking it up before you said it, but kind of figured I may as well check.
And from what you know about the children of the true prophet, this level of body aug is pretty common, but, or rather, I should say, body augmentation is common. This level of body augmentation it would imply a very devout follow child of the true prophet, disciple.
Mm.
Like as a reward or as a penance?
Knowing how God works, both.
I mean, it depends on the god. I'm just saying.
Well, the true prophet, the true prophet, you can only find through self-flagellation and
Oh,
apparently
so
body
he's
aug.
jelly of my chain.
Probably.
Anyway, to the brig.
They're not speaking when I said that to the guy.
No.
Do it. No.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Did you see the picture of RoboCop?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he turned its head, you'd see like Robo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not talking, and to the best of your knowledge, they can quite literally physically not talk, which is to say they're now so cyborg that um in an almost literal sense they can turn it off.
What does that mean? Like, are you implying it's not a choice or it is a choice?
No. It's a choice of their own. Right. I guess what I'm saying, you can't make them talk, if that makes sense. They could talk. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to really convey to you, but they're not talking to you. Mum's the word. They're really taking the, you have the right to remain silent, and then they stop listening.
We didn't tell them that.
No Miranda rights in space.
No Miranda in Pioneer Station.
Can you like repeat that shit from heart still, Brian?
No. I'd have to look at it. You always had to read it from the card. You couldn't do it from memory because that was a whole trick too. If you had to,
Oh, if
read
you
something.
fucked it up.
Yeah, that could be. Oh, he fucked it up and blah blah blah. But usually, the only time you read Miranda is custody plus interrogation. Miranda. So only very few times did people actually get. You could just talk to them. But if you're gonna take them into custody and interrogate them, like take them to detectives, then usually, depends on the situation.
Well, I guess
Believe it or not, a lot of people like to just yap. Let them talk.
Yeah.
I never heard no Miranda rights on Firefly or on the department.
Um,
Loren gave them an option. They chose to fight. He said, "Please, a
you have the
moment."
right to be spaced out of an airlock.
Yeah, exactly. Kicked into a Fireflies, Serenities,
Exactly.
turbines.
Yeah.
I did tell them that bionics were a privilege and not a right, though.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So I
But
guess
that
you would
was
ask.
more to do with him cutting me up at the time.
So,
But no, you guys can definitely toss them into the brig. You can definitely charge them with assault of an officer. You can definitely charge
mhm.
them with whatever avoiding, whatever running from the cops happens to be.
Well, the most important thing is that we've got them contained for now, and they should be contained for a couple of days. So if they are related to this investigation, they have at least themselves been removed from it. And maybe they were leaving because they were going to tell somebody something specific and didn't get a chance to. That's also great, if so.
And also, then we have to pay the prophets, their temple, a visit, I would think, down. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do we are the I wonder if there's a link at all between the surgical incisions and their love of bionics, but I don't know.
Ah.
And do they like blood? Are they known for liking blood? I know Catholics do, those weirdos, but do these?
Are you asking about like lore? Or are you trying to do
I
like investigating a
suppose.
mystery type thing? Or
Yeah, maybe I'll look them up on my pad on the way from the brig
Mhm.
to the temple. My hollow palm.
okay, yeah, you can do some research on the um, what I call it, the Church of the True Prophet.
The children.
Children, that's right, Children of the True Prophet.
Who were the people dead anyway?
There were 3 people that died.
I know. I said who.
Oh, who?
Who were they?
You actually don't know. You couldn't find any identification on them. You assumed that it was stolen off of them by some of the
Make
gutter
it-
urchins that crawl around those parts.
Did they look like they were from here? Or from above? I don't know.
From here, do you mean?
Did they look urchiny, I guess?
Indigenous to Pioneer.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes and yes. They had a very disheveled kind of um, unkept look, like they may have spent quite a bit of time down there in Basement 89.
Hmm. I
So
think,
locals and locals.
Correct.
but once they are the bodies are processed, you know, I'm sure the forensic team, even if they just doing this is just a cursory investigation, um, we could probably get some information from their analysis, like like a
Mm-hmm.
fingerprint, like a sci-fi fingerprint, like a
Absolutely.
body analysis, whatever.
Yeah.
However they're processed, we will be able to glean.
So yeah, you guys summon like on your palm pad a a morgue unit,
Mm-hmm.
and a like a body acquisition unit, and it basically sends a robot out, a drone out to collect the corpses for you, and then it delivers them to the morgue. Um, The morgue, considering their social status, will do a cursory scan, which is a full body scan, and it will upload the. Well, it will send you guys in a report of its cursory finding, um, in your on your palm pad. You will see that along with the incision on their heart, near their heart is gone. And your assumption was correct that they have been completely
Exsanguinated?
exsanguinated.
I love that word. That's an X-Files word.
Deblooded.
This does have hallmarks of a cultish type. Perhaps.
So was there? So is it implied then that they weren't killed there? Their bodies were just dumped there then?
Oh,
Because
yes.
they would have had
Works.
to do the bloodletting, probably not in such a public place, and also with them dangling.
Yes, although I didn't say that explicitly, that would be a conceit that the bodies were dumped. It seemed like the bodies were dumped there. That's kind of what I was trying to imply with them being kind of just piled up,
Haphazardly yeah.
piled up.
Yeah, that's what I thought then too. It's why I asked if they weren't locals, like maybe they'd just been brought here.
True.
But
So their heart, just their heart, has been taken. Any other organs, kidneys?
Nope.
Just the heart.
Apparently, this is going to be a theme for Michael, just stealing one organ.
Yeah.
Livers, hearts.
Why
Just
the
wait
heart?
until it's the skin.
um, it is 9 o'clock. I feel like I should mention that.
Oh no. We can stop now.
I could go a little longer if it's up.
I just know
to you
Brian
guys.
can
Happy
usually go
to.
like another hour.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm happy.
At least
to
he
keep
usually
going.
tends to bullshit with us for another hour.
Sure. Yeah. Let's keep going a little while longer.
For sure. Okay, so we get that report. I was trying to look into the cult and whether they overlap at all with either now organ harvesting, bloodletting rituals, or yeah, I guess those two things mostly.
Actually, with your research, you dig up that the cult itself, or rather its members. I shouldn't say the cult itself. Its members. The concept of blood is kind of not positive, I guess. Ultimately, they, because of their cyborgian nature, they eschew blood as a part of their body, so to speak, very early in their transformation, I guess.
I gotcha. Primitive.
Primitive?
Yeah, having blood, that's so primitive.
Yeah. I guess yes. You know, they really just keep the face ultimately for appearances because they're humans, or were. You know, it's that old grandpa's axe scenario. I replaced the handle last year. I replaced the head the year before. Is it still grandpa's handle or grandpa's axe? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Yes.
How about organs? Hearts in particular.
Nothing specific pops up in regard to hearts and the children of the true prophet.
Okay.
Can we? Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna ask one more thing, which is
Yeah, sure.
how does the transformation usually start?
Well, funny you should say that or ask that. It usually starts with the heart.
Um, can we
Part of the
when
eschewing
they're
blood and all that.
so I think we could correlate or cross reference there. I'm sure when they were booked, I think my envisioning when you're booked into detention facility, I
Okay.
think you do get another body scan
Sure.
to any scars, marks, or tattoos, or any identifying features, or anything that's hidden. If they have secreted contraband, kind of like that Total Recall. They go through that whole, they do all that scans and whatnot. I think their biomechanics, their arms, their bladed hands. I think when this scan is pretty specific and takes the measurements of those blades. Do they cross match with the incisions on the bodies? Would that be something that would be possible?
You mean do like a forensics analysis to see if those were the?
Yes.
You're asking if those blades are the ones that cut the
Yes.
holes for the hearts.
Would that take time, or would that something that's fairly
You
quick
know,
to?
I don't think it would. If this was your inclination, you would look at this blade, and you would think that it is not capable of the delicate
Precision.
handiwork and precision. Yeah, that was
Okay.
displayed and kind of almost underlined by the autopsy that you were delivered electronically.
Okay.
They will take the knives, however, which is to quite literally detach their forearm.
I tut at them. Privilege.
All could have just talked to us, but chose not.
Keep it up, and you just might lose your head.
And
Go ahead, Brian.
no, I guess as we're pursuing this line of inquiry to the children of the prophet, nothing, any information from the dead bodies, anything they did the scan, is any database pop, any information?
The dead
Dead body?
bodies, no, but
No? Okay.
the two disciples, as you kind of in my head, it's like this TSA moment where they're disrobing, they're taking all their crap off, they're taking stuff out of their pockets, and as you guys kind of go through all their stuff, you find this like ID stub. It's like a parking stub, like it's a metered parking or a timed parking stub for down in the dock, or rather the dock ring 6.
Like the loading bay? The loading
Yeah.
dock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dock Ring 6?
Yeah.
And do we find one of those on each of them then, or
Just one of them.
we just find
Oh.
one?
Perhaps we should investigate that. Don't know. Go to the children of the prophet. Probably will not speak.
Is there an... Yeah, agreed.
Say it again.
Pursue
Sorry. I didn't hear you quite well, Brian.
No, I was saying if we go
Berin.
to the children of the prophet, they will probably be quiet. The wall of silence will be erected. So perhaps we should go to 6, see where the stub leads us. Perhaps.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. I'm just
I mean, I can
trying
give
to
you more
think of
things
who
if you
those
want.
3
There
people.
was a little OneNote.
No. You're good. You're good. I'm just a little preoccupied with who those dead people were, because it all kind of hinges on that, in my opinion. I mean, the real question is, like, were these people asking to have their hearts cut off, or did they have no idea that heart removal was even on the table, so to speak?
Yes. That's why I asked too about the corpses. If there's any identification, who they are, like their former
Yeah.
places of work, business, no last no whereabouts.
Right. Yeah. So I've just been preoccupied with that, but I don't see a way to follow it. So I think we should go to the dock
Mm-hmm.
or bay or whatever.
Yeah. Docking ring 6. Yeah, as part of
That.
being a hub, Pioneer Station now has multiple levels of cargo going in and out and moving around. Shipments going here, shipments going there. And so there's plenty of shipping activity in and out of
Mm-hmm.
Pioneer Station. You guys find yourself, you're able to meander your way around the promenade and you find yourself back at the elevator upsetting a bunch of people.
I am sorry.
A bunch of people are like,
I know.
this is the third time today.
Yeah, unfortunately, the security station.
But
But I
I
apologize.
I will pat an asado on top of it, kind of like apologetically.
yeah, I want
As
to
we
say they're
come up.
like these fat worms, like basketball size, like width or something or whatever.
Mhm.
But they're like long, giant effing worms, kind of like with hard brown scales.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it like inches up. It's like up to your hip.
as you
You come
may
from
expect,
Arrakis.
we we Modis are xenophiles, so we're quite fond of other aliens, and I try and always show, you know, camaraderie.
Your
Pat pat.
religion or your cult? Yeah.
Pat the
My
Arrakis.
organization, yes.
My man. Your organization. Um,
Pat.
as you enter DR6, you the the elevator bay doors open, and this cacophony of noise just like hits you sonically as it opens. Then you guys step into this industrial, what is effectively an industrial zone. Um, you put on some ear protection.
To come right out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your headphones. Boop. And yeah, as you kind of walk along towards the like kiosk where it gives out the tickets and things. Uh, you are just inundated with visuals of massive ships being moved around you to some degree. Like in my head, you guys are like got out on this deck level. You've probably never seen the game The Ascent, but you stepped out on this elevator on this deck level, and kind of there's large bars on one side of the deck, and then ships come up to it, effectively docking directly and dislodging and disgorging their cargoes. And so there's a lot
Ah,
of hustle and a lot of bustle. I kind of imagine it like an airport more than anything else. Planes are coming in, people are getting off, cargo is getting off, and they're moving in and out and in and out. And you guys are
right.
like on one of those long concourse terminals. You can see, but there's no windows. There's just noise and
I like to imagine
artificial
that
gravity.
on the TV show, the camera like pans out, and suddenly the scale is enormous,
Mm-hmm.
where everything else has been tight up till now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
kind of really is supposed to give you the idea of the size of this place, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because right now you've been in the gravity well and you've been inside these corridors and elevators, not really giving the immensity of the place that you inhabit, the place that you call
Mm-hmm.
home for the time being.
Right.
Suddenly, the viewers get an idea for what
Absolutely.
89 means.
That's right. You see the immensity.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, you guys are able to make it over to the kiosk that it's basically a slip number, and it lets you you need one. Someone has to be on dockside to basically get you a slip, a temporary slip. So
Mhm.
this slip was effectively an hour long slot where a ship came in, dropped something off, and left. You would know that just from being human beings that live and work on this station. This is like literally the most basic part of like station life. Get goods coming to and fro. This isn't like
Would
large freight goods either. This is one of the like fast courier levels. DR1, DR2, and DR3 are dedicated almost entirely to large freight. DR 4, 5, and 6 are more local trade. So you don't have massive cargo ships coming in here dislodging huge cargo containers. You have them, you know, in space terms, smaller things. And space terms still means that those are pretty big ultimately. But um, we're not talking about metric tons of ore or metric tons of
Mhm.
this, that. We're talking about a huge collection of trombones
Wah,
or
wah,
a
wah.
giant, collection of artifacts or trinkets
Kazoo.
or kazoos.
Well, then I guess we could approach the dockmaster with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
yes. Can we
Scan it.
tell from the stub when it was for?
Hmm. What info is on the
I was
stub?
wondering if you were gonna ask. Yeah, no, it does have a
Probably scan
time.
it with our hollow powers. No, when we have like security clearance to really to
Uh-huh.
scan it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely scan the ticket, and it will definitely give you a time and place. DR6 slip 113. Um,
Oh.
between the hours of, and we're still using 24-hour time
Mhm.
because sure. Um,
Universal.
between
It's
the
cosmic.
hours of 2200 and 2300 hours.
Mm. Then let us proceed to 113.
What time is it now?
Mm.
So this slip is 3 days old,
Mhm.
and it is currently 1400 hours or 2 o'clock in the afternoon for normies.
When did the gripping hand tell me that the artifacts came in, or did they not? That just that one had arrived.
I'm gonna go with today
Okay.
because that's you rolled the dice today.
Oh, I mean, did they tell me when the artifact arrived? Is what I mean.
Oh, they do not know
Okay.
when it arrived. They are fairly certain that it is on the station, though.
I make significant eyes at Berin.
I deeply apologize. I must use the restroom, and I'm gonna be a minute. I will be right back.
Hmm. Perhaps we should look at the docking area and get see who's coming and going to the dock hands. Dock hands, whatever you want to call them.
Sorry?
Now I'm just thinking we should just go to the slip and maybe see what's what. Just kind of get a lay of the land and maybe talk to some of the
Yeah,
workers before
completely
we
agree.
let's start working our way down and up to
I
the.
mean, these guys stand out, right? I would think that they stand out a little
Yeah,
bit. So maybe somebody saw them and what they picked up.
yeah. I think that's good. Talk right to the workers before going to the supervisors.
Agreed.
But I also suspect there probably is a little bit of black market. It's some shit.
Yeah, maybe we have some connections like
Mm-hmm.
Quark style.
Yes. Very good.
That's how I picture my chain, by the way.
Ooh, I like that. It's elegant and it's a little missing edge to it. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know. The more I'm getting into this, I don't know. How attached are you to Radriel?
I like all my characters always.
Yeah, they're all
That's the
good.
thing. So I can always jump to a different one.
Yeah. Where are we in? We completed a mystery, right? Or are we still confused?
Lovely sandworm.
Yes, that's why I pictured that worm, but actually on a smaller scale.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Pat pat.
Pat pat, tap tap. Yeah, no, I'm not too. I can play any game. Like I said, I character, but
No,
I
I'm
like it.
really liking this too a lot. I
I like it
really
a lot too.
I
Yeah.
really like the setting.
Yes. It's just so. It has. We actually have the familiar tropes, but it's also original enough too, which is nice. It's a nice mix of everything, and we've been playing the other characters for a while, so this is a refreshment. I wouldn't be. Uh, I wouldn't object to continuing this and maybe putting the others on hold a little bit, but that's entirely up to how everybody else feels. I don't.
Yeah, I'd be up for that too, but I mean, I don't know if Josh would or not. Um,
Yeah,
but
see
I
what
would
Jack
be
says.
cool.
Yeah, it might be a nice little change of pace. And then we could always go back.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the sci-fi feel to it for sure.
Yeah. I think Michael too. He kind of one. Sci-fi is his bag too. So I guess
It is.
so it's probably a little more. I mean, he enjoys doing the other stuff too. And the other sort of sci-fi is it's a little sweeter.
No, sci-fi is his favorite for
Yeah,
sure. Absolutely.
this is good.
He got me into Michael Crichton.
Oh, really? Mm.
Yeah, Andromeda Strain, especially very good.
I never read that. I've seen the old movie way back when. But
I
never read
I mean, apart from them adding the woman,
that. Mm-hmm.
it's very, very similar in a lot of ways. In a good way. In a good way.
Good.
It's a very faithful adaptation.
I think the only book I read of his was Sphere. He wrote Sphere, right?
I I think so. I haven't read that one.
They made a movie with Dustin Hoffman. I think it was Dustin. Sharon Stone. That was pretty good. Movie was all right. It was fun, but I think the book was.
Yeah, Sphere is one of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the only book of his.
I want to read Eaters of the Dead, but I haven't.
Mhm. It's just. I wish I could take a sabbatical for 6 months and just read.
Oh man,
It's,
I feel that way sometimes too.
I just. That's all I want to do. I mean, I love my family, but sometimes I say, okay, see you guys a little later. You'll be okay.
There's so much out there, you know?
It's just, yeah, again, there's just so much and it's hard to do. Uh, and to just have the time to do it. I mean, I have time, but then it's just more time. I get a little greedy. Just one more hour, a couple more chapters.
If you get the time ever, The Moat in God's Eye is
Yeah.
one of the best written pieces of writing
Wow.
out there objectively. It just is.
What is it called? The moat?
The Moat in God's Eye.
God, I remember seeing that, um, but never. I think I read one of his. Larry Niven, right? Wrote that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You know
I
what I?
can't recommend all of Larry Niven, but
No,
that's
yeah.
good. The Moat in God's Eye is good.
So that's my next two. Black Tongue.
Yeah. It Michael just said it is considered one of the first, if not the first, quintessential first contact book.
Ooh. Let's see. To be read.
Sorry about that.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah, you guys can locate the deck foreman on duty. We'll name them
Daniel.
yeah, Staniel. Like Jonthony or whatever that weird name is.
Yeah.
Staniel. Um
Which one of us is the talker?
but
I think it's you. So
Okay. Yes, I will do
Staniel's
so.
actually a Tamtor.
Ooh.
They talk really weird because they aren't really meant to speak English.
I guess would we have a universal language translator, or would we pick up, or would
No.
Pioneer have its own language like the Belters from The Expanse? Would it be
What's that called,
or
Grace? When you mix languages, it's called a
Wow.
patois.
patois? Yes. Is there a patois
Sure.
or do they-
Do not expect me to come up with one on the.
No. Beren will. Yeah.
I mean,
Will
that's what
Dree.
common is. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever patois. Beren will address Staniel and inquire about the workers on the date in question who was handling uh, Doc 113.
He's gonna ask you for the ticket.
I will show him the ticket. Or it.
He will tell you, because you're police officers.
I will identify ourselves.
Um, he will tell you a small Osato ship docked during that time slot in that slip.
Mm.
It's on the registry. It was only here for about 35 minutes. But minimum docking time is 1 hour. So, but yeah, no, it was in and out fairly quickly. I mean, they don't know. Ultimately, they don't know what the cargo was. They don't directly tariff the import export of the local goods. Most of it was taxed for like large goods, large shipment stuff. So they don't really try to do customs with a lot of the stuff that comes in and out here at DR6.
Was Daniel himself on duty, or is he speaking more generally?
Say that again. Sorry, was Stanley what?
Was Daniel himself on duty at the time, or was somebody else?
No, he was not on duty at that time.
Okay.
It was actually at 23. What did I say? 22 to 2300 hours, yeah. That time that would have been one of the swing shifts. Wait, no, swing is in the middle. That would be night shift. And he can look up the duty roster if you want. Or the duty rush. You can look up the
And
That would
any of
be
the
great.
workers,
schedule.
Yeah.
and any of the cargo unloaders, the cargo hand. who was working.
He's gonna flip through his palm pad. His has a totally different look. He uses a different UI, a different theme. He uses for their eyes. They prefer, you know how we like dark mode. They prefer green mode. Works better for their lizard brains. But he's gonna tell you that it was it was a small Osato vessel. It was a shift, and it was I wanted to. So it was like, curious. And I want to think up a super weird name. Was on duty. And is a Osato as well.
Are they working? That Dake work? Or no, they work night shifts. Those two.
Yeah.
He's an Asado.
Mm-hmm.
We will need their or whatever living compartment numbers, please. They will need to be.
Well, Asada lives in the Asado biome, which is mostly dirt. There's actually a beautiful park over the top of it that humans can walk on, but a lot of them don't like going to it because Asada will just pop out of the floor and it's super weird. It's very off-putting. It's mostly dirt and there's some large trees, but yeah, it's kind of off-putting knowing all those Asado are under your feet talking and communicating and everything. So as much as people are allowed to walk around and be on the surface level for the Asado, a lot of people don't take them up on it, actually. But yeah, you guys are able to, if you want. But he lives in the dirt. He doesn't really have so much as a residence as a locale.
Oh, okay.
If that
Unless
makes sense.
Pinpoint his locale.
Yeah.
So we don't have to speak with him.
Absolutely. If we're leaving, then I will try to speak to him in Temptorian as best as my throat will allow, and I will express something like about his odor being sweet and his teeth sharp and gratitude expressed.
Oh,
I
to
am
the
showing,
Tantor?
yeah, I'm Temptorian or whatever they speak, and I am expressing appreciation for his culture. That's what I think I'm doing.
That he smells nice?
Yeah, that he smells nice, his teeth are sharp, and that we express gratitude.
What did we call him? No, we didn't call him Jimothy. We called him. What the fuck?
Staniel.
Daniel.
Staniel. Staniel. Staniel.
Yeah.
And wrong. Okay. Yeah, he will. I mean, whoops, I did save. Given your credentials, you can look up Rollin, and you can find him with no surprise in the his home is the Osato biome on station. Doesn't necessarily mean that's where he is, but that is his home.
How are their homes designated?
How do we ping him too? Yeah, too.
They aren't really designated. Like I said, it's kind of like a worm farm.
Perfect. In that case, we'll just go in and we'll wait for a worm to come up and ask it what's what.
Or can we ping it like the Arrakis dude worms with vibrations?
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, um, at there's a you kind of come into this dirt park. It's not really grass. It's just kind of turned over soil dirt park. And in one of the corners, there's a sign in like 4 different languages that says, "If you need help, stomp."
Stomp. We do.
But not urgently, because we don't want them to think there's like an emergency, just some light, friendly stomping.
Just a little top, top, top.
So you just like,
Exactly.
yeah, you stomp, shave, and a haircut.
Derp, derp.
A couple of times.
Mm.
And yeah, this large worm comes poking out, and kind of disgustingly, it uses a mouth. Like little dirt particles fall out of it as it starts to talk to you. Or no, how can I help you?
Hello? My name is Marybeth, and this is Berin, and we are looking for Rahaldin. Is he nearby, do you know?
Hold on. And he'll go back into the ground. They will. You don't really know the gender.
So
There aren't
polite.
really genders in Asado, I guess, culture so much as division, I guess,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And don't go pinching them in half, or then that's
Oh.
it's like an unwanted pregnancy.
Yeah.
No. Comes back. No. Not here.
Where would well, I'll let Mary Beth, maybe since she has a rapport with him, to ask. But where does one go
Yeah.
besides here?
Where does he spend his days?
Hold on. You see some moving around in the dirt, and then some other moving around in the dirt, and then more moving around in the dirt. And then and then the Asado comes back. Wait a minute. You asked where is he now?
Yeah, where
Well,
does he spend his days usually?
if he's not there, where else would he go?
Mine asked around. And he hasn't been seen in 3 days. Not here anyway.
that like him?
They will reply, it doesn't seem so. Like people actually, he will convey, I don't know how to say it, but he will convey the idea that when he spoke to the other Asado about the whereabouts, that they were also surprised because when asked, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't seen in a few days."
What is the habit of the Asado? Do they work in home? Is that it? I mean, what they don't. I don't know their social structure. They
They're
I
very
don't.
communal, obviously,
Mhm.
because they live together in the dirt for the most part. Um, are you trying to like lonerism is not super common, especially on the space station for that matter.
No,
Um,
I see them just going down to the gravity well.
yeah.
Mm. But
um,
is there another place that a worm would burrow? I mean, in the like to go like a seedy part of you know what I mean? Like there's always
a seedy
yeah,
part.
yeah like they're communal, but maybe Rahra is looking for a little action and goes burrows in this sewer kind of activity. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking where else would they go if they're basically working home. Have Asada been found in other places besides work? What are their specific task or work, and then
Yeah.
back to the
There
dirt?
are, believe it or not, Asado watering holes, aka Asado bars.
Do they
Okay.
just like pour liquor into a puddle of mud?
You know, I hadn't figured it out quite yet in my head, but sure, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I was bent over. Just
In my
face
head,
first.
in my head, it's more like I think of it more like whales. So you you like create a damp spot of boozahol, and then they scoop it up with their mouth,
Oh,
and
Oh,
then
I like it.
extract the alcohol basically from the dirt.
Like it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
where would one of these watering holes be?
Sorry, this entire image is hilarious to me.
This is fucking hilarious. We're going to a Arachis dune worm watering hole. Ah,
um,
if does this have a predisposition to these watering holes? Is it not unusual
um,
for
do
go there?
I mean I don't know. Do you know that? Are you asking someone that?
Yeah, I will attempt my tempura, not tempura, asado
Daniel.
esque uh,
You'll
language
the okay.
to ask is this would this behavior be indicative for is it just
Farachlan.
Rachtalam?
He's been known to imbibe from time to time. Um,
Ever pull
the
a bender like to stay away, not show up to work?
he would relay he it would relay that it wouldn't be normal. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, I haven't seen him in a little while." That's kind of out of the ordinary, right?
Usually reliable.
Yeah,
Hmm.
usually reliable.
Did did he come home with a package a few days ago at all?
Hmm.
Um,
Bring anything into the dirt?
no, and in fact, the last time anybody saw them is when they left for work.
All right. So that would have been probably before like 2100.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They like to shake off before they go to work because a lot of the other species find them kind of weird and literally dirty, and so they to because they live in dirt. So
But can't they dehydrate if they stay? Anyway, I'm sure they're fine.
yeah, but they want a clean mucousy film across their membrane instead of a dirt laden
Do they
mucousy.
have a light iridescent
Sure.
slime over their bodies?
Yes.
Oh,
It's part of
lucky
how they
boy.
ambulate through the dirt and
Oh.
how they keep a
Excellent.
moist carapace. I don't know. What is it? What is it called? What are the segments of a worm actually called? I don't know.
I don't know. You said that
Uh,
they molt once a year or something like that, though. So
Yeah.
I guess they've got like a skin.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's a hard slatted skin. I'm thinking like scorpion like or something. Or even snake like.
Gotcha,
But yeah,
gotcha.
we're gonna say they excrete this
Like overlapping
fluid
scale.
to
Yeah.
for movement through the dirt.
Squelch, squelch. All right.
Squelchy.
So he didn't come home after he picked it up.
No.
Did he pick it up? Did they pick it up?
Mm.
Do you have any more questions?
No.
For the
I think
Asado liaison.
All right. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Staniel was the Tamtor Day foreman.
Oh shit, you're right.
I didn't actually give you a name for.
Yeah. You never introduced yourself. That's actually kind of rude. I gave you all our names. Anyway, you know what? Nothing. I won't hold it against you. I hope you have a lovely day. I thank you for your time, and if we hear from Rahul Midland, we'll we'll be letting you all know
I'm
how he's
reviewing here.
doing.
Please, do not hesitate to come.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hear something, say something.
That's kind of weird. Yeah. And then it'll like slink, wiggle back down, and slink into the dirt.
I wave as they go. All right.
So we have a missing Asado, a strange artifact, very short docking time for the ship, dead bodies, cultists under arrest.
Yeah, a lot of little moving parts.
Yeah. Harvested organs.
Harvested organs, true hallmark of good sci-fi. Harvested organs.
Okay, so I guess my question is, can we tell from the stub whether it was actually redeemed? The dock stub? For
Well, it was ultimately redeemed. It was required for the docking in the first place. I'm not saying it makes a ton of sense, but the ticket was required for them to dock in the first place. The slip had to be purchased. The slip.
I see.
It's basically a receipt for slip usage.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And they did say, and Foreman Staniel did tell you that the ship did dock and was there for approximately 35 minutes.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which is an hour minimum though. So
Correct.
So they were under the minimum. So what has happened when it's not the minimum? Shouldn't there be like red flags, like kind of a flag issue?
And I think we know that Rahul Biddle did actually show up for his shift, right? Because it didn't show anything abnormal in the roster. So it sounds like he showed up for his shift and probably did get the packet, or did help transport the
I don't know. Did
package
you
to
guys
whoever
check any
picked it
like
up.
security footage or anything like that?
Yeah,
Not yet.
we're working on that.
I don't know what happened during that fateful hour. So I
We
assume
probably
they
put in a request for that hours ago. It's going
Yeah.
through.
It's taking its time. The bureaucracy is
Yeah. Speaking of taking time, the rap sheets come back for the three people you found dead.
Mhm.
They got genetically ID'd. But you need to understand, as part of the morgue process, especially for street urchins like this, is there will be DNA sampled. Anything pertinent value will be harvested, and then their bodies will be mulched and turned into compost for the hydroponic, or not the hydroponics, for the grow operation for various foodstuffs.
Toilet mulches
Reduce, reuse,
people.
recycle.
Absolutely. Um,
Waste not, want none. All that.
so how about that request for security footage?
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the rap sheets come back, and
Oh, right, the rap sheets.
and all of them seem to be degenerate gamblers.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of well known. The Clorn and some of the darker parts of the here at Pioneer Station have fighting pits, where they will obviously bet on matches between Clorn and Tamtors and even other species that will sometimes walk through these hallowed halls. Hallowed halls. What am I saying?
I
Walk.
don't know, man. Doesn't sound hallowed. Sounds
Yeah,
Right.
pit
That's what I'm
fighty.
saying.
pretty
What am I
grimy.
saying?
Hmm.
Oh,
Well, unless we find the night shift foreman, right? The other
Mm-hmm.
person to investigate, interview.
Did you look them up too? Did you look up?
Yeah, if we were gonna go with Asado, the Asado worker, he's
yeah.
missing. It's missing. I guess we would go to the next.
So
Uh,
here's what I'm gonna tell you. Uh, Ralph is also a degenerate gambler. He
mhm.
also has a long rap sheet for being caught in gambling pounds, getting roused out of um, pit fights and other type of gambling establishments.
Mm.
Nothing, not enough to lose his job yet, maybe,
Mm.
but you know. And with all those revelations, I know it's not quite the fade to black moment, but it's 5 minutes till, and I think now is a good point
Yeah,
to pause if that's okay with you guys. Grace is making a sad
sure.
face. You want to go for another
Yeah.
hour?
No, no, no.
Ah,
I'm just so sad at all this pit fighting, and our buddy Raholga is all messed up in this. Not
not Harlem.
Raholgan.
He was a good worm.
But we
He
should
was a
do after
family
session.
worm.
If we're gonna do monster of the week, we should just do after session.
Oh, right, 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 right.
Yes.
What are they again? I don't have
We
them
did
in front
not
of me.
conclude the current mystery.
No.
No.
Did they save someone from certain death or worse? No, no. Sorry.
Uh-uh.
Did we learn something new and important about the world? I think
Yeah.
ultimately all of this stuff. You guys just get an experience for day one experience. You learned everything new today. Did we learn anything new or important about one of the hunters?
Mary Beth is bionic.
That's fair. I'll give it to you. Y'all get 1 mark then.
Yay.
Um, not to like pull back the curtain a bit, but I pulled a lot of this out of my bottom, so I hope you had fun.
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Um,
Yeah, no, we were talking when you were gone about how much we like the setting.
I'm for putting the other one on hiatus for a little bit and going into this, but that's
I
entirely
have
up
this,
to you.
Brian. I have this obsession. Grace knows this, but obviously you don't. I have this obsession with books called BDOs, or Big Dumb Object books.
Mhm.
Um, the Moten God's Eye falls under that category, but there's a whole slew of BDO books out there, and they're literally like, old crazy derelict we find in the middle of space. What could possibly go wrong? things like Ring World fall under this moniker and stuff like that. And
I think things falling into the ocean and stuff also does sometimes.
so this interstellar megalopolis thing really appeals to me on a very personal level because I like the idea of a space station that is just grown organically in a way that a space station never should, but
Right.
totally would. If that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I really like the idea of trying to introduce some concepts that I really love out of other sci-fi novels. Like the Solar Clipper series has this spacefaring thing where it's like slow and plotting, where it makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Ultimately, like their technology to move around quickly, faster than light, is instantaneous, but it's interfered with by the gravity wells caused by large solar objects like suns and stars.
Yes.
So there's still a long travel time. There's still like 2 or 3 months,
Mhm.
5 or 6 months for long travels as they're called, going in and out of the well in the book series. Um, and I really like that concept of kind of because it's marrying space travel with sea travel and kind of gets both the best of both worlds out of it.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so I really like the solar clipper idea, and that's what they did. They call them solar clippers because they would use solar sails is what they would eventually use when they got into the solar systems to move around.
Mhm.
Anyway, and then the Valerian or the concept or Babylon 5 for that matter. A Babylon 5 is more purpose built. If you know the lore, Babylon 5 is all about, they built this station specifically for diplomatic purposes between all the species. So there's all these different biomes inside of it, yada, yada, yada. Kind of purpose built for this diplomatic purpose. And Valerian is, of course, built around the idea that through time, and bolting on more and more species to this same kind of, I think Valerian has that same concept of diplomacy around it, where the
Mhm.
idea is Saul creates this kind of mediator space for these different species, and so they
Right.
glom onto it over the years and over the centuries. It's just become this whole its own thing.
Right.
And so I really wanted to play with that and be what it would be like to like kind of be Babylon. This is like one of the main things in Babylon 5. Like Garibaldi is like the name of the detective in Babylon 5, and it's like most of the
Mhm.
plots of the show is like him investigating random shit. I think that's his name, Garibaldi. That,
Do we need to watch Babylon
no,
5?
I don't think it
Do we
really.
need to watch?
I do not think it stands up personally, but that's me.
You don't? I've
Um,
heard such good things about it.
yeah, we can give it a try. Um, But thank you guys for playing along. I hope you
Yeah.
guys
Dig it.
had fun. It sounds like you guys had fun. So
Oh yeah.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of fun. I'm soaking it all up. Love all the
just
atmosphere.
like those Asado.
Yeah.
Mm.
And in fact, we're talking to a giant, not a giant worm, but a worm, and talking about worm bars. And how would a worm bar look like? Just, it's great. This is complete, excellent sci-fi. It's just so, it's out
Strong
there, but
relief.
it's believable if we believe in other alien species. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah, in my head, the Asado, just like whales,
Mhm.
they have the baleen for their
Mhm.
filter, the krill. For me, they have like what are effectively baleen filters for the alcohol or the dirt, so they can move the dirt through their dirt gills almost as it passes through their body, through their head area.
That's great.
That's my head canon.
Super cool.
Excellent.
The
Thank
make
you.
believe shit I get off of random generators on the internet. But yeah, thank you for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Talk to you tomorrow. We'll be playing.
Oh, absolutely. Always a pleasure, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a
Good
good
night.
one.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Night, guys.